What's up? What's up? Let me see if I can. Okay, it's already started on YouTube. Cool. Yeah. So overall, I think we could see a little bit of a retracement early in the week before we make a move to the upside. With Bitcoin, maybe the 15-minute. I would like to see a push up above this area. When we were on the class yesterday, we talked about the highs over here, and after they got swept, we'd most likely see a liquidity rain to the downside. We saw exactly that, fair value gap entry after the market structure break right here. So we had that short-term low, price rallied above the old highs, took out the stops from any people that were short, and then flushed above. Oh, I don't know why it's taking forever. Seems like we have sort of a similar little bit of price action where the lows are getting manipulated more. So what I'd like to see is a push up into this order block right here, and then kind of revisit from there. I have alerts set right there. I'd look for a 5-minute confirmation entry there, to be specific. For indices, I wanted SPY to come up and take that high. It's still very could definitely take that high, but I was hoping we would sweep that previous weekly high and then get an entry model under that. Now, theoretically, you have your entry model here. You have that short-term low, whichever one you want, getting taken, the fair value gap. Personally, I'm not super interested in it just yet. I could see it playing out. I just don't like how he left that previous week's high right above that. So, also with Nas is looking a little bit more ready for retracement. I think everything that we get will be pretty short-lived. I haven't actually marked up Nas yet.
I caught NASDAQ nasty this morning.
Hell yeah.
I got stopped out the first one. I just got destroyed with a wick. But the second one is just if you measure Nas, the move, that exponential move that it had prior, it retraced to the 705 perfectly.
OTE be smacking.
But the first one I failed like horribly. I had an entry at the 50% of the move. Bro, it just like went through it. I just like exit liquidity immediately.
I haven't even done my markups for Nas yet. Wait, I did that right. Yeah. It's also an imbalance there. I could see us drawing back down to this level before continuing the upside. We did just remove a fuckload of buy side. It's getting close to this daily order block here. But I'm more, if we get up in this region, I'm more looking at all these highs. So I'll annotate this on my chart, but not something that I'm gonna pay too. Like I really want these highs to get taken if we do get up that high. Then probably pull up somewhere into one of these imbalances. That being said, we did remove a shitload of the buy side here, but I think the move of the day here was under these lows right there, and then you got the risk to reward. To be honest, the reason I didn't take this one from just like a liquidity raid perspective is the only displacement I saw that after the break of structure. That wasn't enough for me personally. There was barely any gaps, so I kind of just sat that one out. This tool selected, but the only other clear entry I see was right here, and to me that just wasn't hitting for me. If anything, I could possibly see a short entry, but I'm not going to rush into anything right now. I want to see, kind of let indices show their hand a little bit. Mondays, I'm never really super rushed to get into intraday movements, especially after we've had such a crazy week with indices. But ideally, going off of the S&P more so than NASDAQ, I could see the S&P looks better for sales in my opinion because we filled all these imbalances. We're inside this daily order block or supply zone, however you want to plot it out. What I was looking for was us to take out this weekly high or previous week's high and then get this kind of pattern. But since we didn't get that, I'm kind of just going to chill. I could see everything rallying a little bit higher. It's once we get around these areas of liquidity that close to them, they almost always get tagged out. So feels weird. I'm in like my new office. It's like I'm in like a whole another world. And for some reason, dude, I'm irritated. My chair is like squeaking now, and it wasn't squeaking before, and I can't deal with that shit.
WD-40 that, huh?
It's like it's not in a way that I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like something's fucked up on it because it was like nothing on it at all was squeaking. Then I put in the truck, and it was then I get here and now it's squeaking. So it's like I don't understand how that would have happened, but
Dust?
I guess. But it wasn't like there was a shitload of like wasn't even like that bad in the truck where it was at least. But I need to head to the store today and get some because I cannot do it. Yeah, super volatile price action this morning. There was some news this morning as well. I can't remember what it was. I think it was PMI or something, right?
Yep, Fed speakers, PMI.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Somebody followed me on Twitter. It says CEO and head of product at Kyber Network, like say KNC, and they have like 300 followers. The CEO of KNC, guys, the ultimate Ponzi.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think really right here, it's like it's giving signs of this being a liquidity, but it's just strong here, and also with these levels above, and the overall bias really is. It seems like this could have been considered a draw on liquidity at one point. It doesn't really seem like we're reacting and pushing away from that. It seems like we're kind of coming down, cleaning up the sell side from the previous session, and then pushing up. So it tells me that liquidity is still drawing to something above. The only clear thing I see are these highs. So if I want to take a sell, I want to make sure I'm very, very confident in it. I'm not really a big fan of any of this here.
I want the ES to pull back to 4068.
Yeah, I want. Where is it?
That would make me long the shit out of it.
Yeah, like 40.50 was like really where I wanted it, but because that would fake out everybody that was using, like they would just heck, oh, it's a choach, it's a choach if we come under this low, but I think we'll just be rebalancing. Because look at the daily chart. I mean, we could come back pretty, like this impulse move here. If we start to die down, I think we could easily come back down into, I mean, at the minimum, this imbalance right here in the previous week's equilibrium. Yeah, overall though with Bitcoin, I really want us to come into this zone. From there, I just look for that 5-minute confirmation entry and look to take it down into like these equal lows down here. That would be ideal. And that would shake out a lot of the late longs as well. I don't know why it's saying my Wi-Fi. Oh, never mind. No, I'm looking at it wrong. What the fuck? Why don't I just click on to delete? Okay, somehow I managed to move that. Oh yeah, something else I wanted to go over too that I posted about it last night, but you can get a nice little retracement in Gala, like down into this these daily levels right here. I'm gonna look to long the fuck out of it. I like this setup a lot, and I think that, I mean, it's got a lot of room for sure, and it's coiling up down here nicely. Kind of got that 3 drive going on the daily. Really, I'm just looking for this order block that we really came up and get that change of character off of, and also the imbalance to get filled. The reason I selected this imbalance is if I take this swing impulse move, I'm just going to look for the first fill that's in a nice discount, which, I guess you could look here, but that wouldn't really be tapping into this order block. So if we can get down in this 5287 to 5144, I'm going to look for the lower time frames to give me a long bias. I think there was another coin I wanted to. Oh yeah, not coin, pair. It's supposed to be up here. GJ, we swept these equal lows. Now we've got a shitload of equal highs up here. This pair has been kind of finicky. Like I haven't really been a huge fan of trading it. What is this? Sorry, I got a message. Okay, but here I think that once we sweep these lows, I mean, if we don't turn around here, we're going for this major low right here. And looking at it from like a swing structure perspective, I mean, really, this needs to retrace heavily. Like we've got so many weak lows because we've came up, we failed to take the high here, so we've got weak lows here, here, here. Like all that's just weak lows that needs to get taken out. But this pair has been fickle. Anything with the yen is. So if we start to pull back up into these zones, maybe even take out these highs, at that point I'm going to look for start looking more for sells. I don't know if that's going to happen this week or not, but I'm going to bide my time with this one because I don't think there's any rush here as far as the daily setup that I'm looking to play goes. There's something else that I saw on it. I can't remember if it was this pair actually. I was like tired, super tired last night whenever I was looking at charts. GJ just or not GJ, but GU just keeps pushing to the upside. One thing to keep in mind as well is this daily imbalance on DXY is really close to getting filled. We'll see how we react.
Almost at the short level.
So what?
GU's almost at the short level. If you look at a 4-hour chart, in my opinion, needed to push higher before the short.
Which are you talking about? This supply zone?
Yeah, that supply zone right there.
True.
That's what I've been waiting for it to get up there for like, oh man, like 2 freaking weeks or something. It's just
It's in there.
taking this sweet time.
Let's refine it. Let's see, because it's about filled it all the way up.
Yeah, I wanted it at the 50%, and then I would look at it's at the 50% right now.
I was
I'd
gonna say it's
look
above it.
I'd look for bearish action here, but I forgot who I was talking to. I was like, we could sweep the all those equal highs right there in the 4
That's what
hour,
I want. That's what
and
I was gonna
then
say.
short.
All that right there. And really, even if we get up in this region, I would look for us to take this as well and fill in this imbalance right here. Because like for me, like when I'm looking at this, like if we don't reverse, like really this is I would say probably this time, just 'cause where most of the stops are gonna reside. There's gonna be some short-term traders there, but if we continue to push like this, I would consider this our draw on liquidity as this clean high and this imbalance. So somewhere in there is where I would look to see a reversal. Because it looks like, let's see, we had a liquidity raid during nothing really, honestly. Here it's just kind of forex lately has been it's been okay, but I'd rather trade and focus on indices. Speaking of, yeah, that's why I don't think that these are gonna cool off just yet. I don't really see anything that, yeah, because they're giving those signals, but whenever you're this close to areas of liquidity, I think that those if you're playing liquidity raids, uh, what's up, Broham? But uh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, once we're really close to these areas of liquidity, if you're gonna play like a liquidity raid, I feel like you gotta, it's kind of redundant to try to play it right here just because you're becoming the liquidity at that point. So, I mean, there was kind of an early morning entry down here. Again, for me, it wasn't the risk reward wasn't really there, but that's how the liquidity rate setups are. They be like that sometimes where it gives you a clear setup, but the only like target that you have intraday is just not far away, or not far enough away, I guess I should say, to where the risk to reward makes sense. Nos is pushing. I want 88 to come down as well for buys. I haven't really looked at ETH much. That's still all in this. I mean, there's tons of short bias here, but again, I'm with crypto. I just really watch Bitcoin and indices because that's what's going to determine what everything else does. This got filled. I need to take that off. Actually, most of these levels are old. So I haven't really got any kind of change of character. FTM, sure, look at FTM. Jesus Christ. Weekly looks like you could move to the downside a little bit because you filled that imbalance right there. And bouncing between imbalances at this point. I would say as far as your weekly goes, this is what I would look at as the draw on liquidity. But I'd like to look more to daily to see a more immediate bias. Yeah, I like this level. There's a clean low under it. You're definitely starting to reverse right here. It looks like you got that change of character. So this would be the daily. And once you got in here, you got your 4-hour change of character right there. So we can layer this. It's actually might be ready soon. Let me refine that. So that was the 4-hour to 1 hour. This one's kind of interesting because really you got your entry right there on a 15-minute chart, but I wonder if there's something up here that got left behind. Yeah, there you go. I like that zone right there. If we could come up into this region right there, that 5-minute institutional candle, I refined that from the 15-minute. It looks like there's a lot of liquidity getting engineered right here. So a lot of short traders their stop losses are going to be just above these highs. So once we come back up and take those out, if we come back up into this area where there's that unmitigated candle right there, especially with this huge imbalance, that could be a very nice short area. So I'll set an alert for that. What I would look for there is the 5-minute to switch bearish, and then I would just play it from there. He said, I've shorted AVAX on my own. Please let me know that I am going to get stopped again. Let's see. Well, you're inside this daily order block that originally, it really never caused a change of character in the daily. I had drawn something over here, but let's see. I would say it looks like it wants this imbalance right here. That's what I would really be looking at. I don't know how much I'd consider this an order block. I mean, we did trade through it, so theoretically, I guess it is. But to me, I wouldn't really pay attention to that. I should delete this because it's cluttery. I said Phil. Fuck, I don't even want to look at that fucking coin. And if you're wondering why I'm saying it's because I sold it too early. Hmm. Kind of similar to AVAX is kind of similar to what's it called? Fucking FTM. If I had to guess, most alts are gonna look like that then, or a lot of them, I should say. I would look for shorts off of this candle as well. Yeah, really what I'm looking for once we kind of, because this looks like it could be some kind of redistribution, like the lows are getting taken out, followed by short-term breaks of structure. So price could push to the upside up into this area, take out all these equal highs right here, and actually mitigate this 15-minute imbalance, because it seems like, inside that refined 4 hour zone to a 1 hour order block right here, the 15-minute was bullish moving into it. Then we took the low right here. Should be your change of character. Maybe it's a little bit. Actually, I'd probably say this would have been your low, being a little more aggressive. One of these candles. Regardless, they all got broken, and at that point, you just look for the newly introduced supply that sponsored that break, which you know at first glance is this 15-minute zone, and we very well might not go back all the way up in here and mitigate this. But a lot of times, whenever I see this quick of a mitigation, you'll see price move violently away from that level, but it will leave behind a lot of orders within that main impulsive move. And then we also see a lot of shorts coming into the market all the way down here. We get that creek, so to speak, all that trend line liquidity building up. Everybody, their shorts are above here or here, all these equal highs everywhere. So a lot of that usually is going to get taken out. I mean, there's no guarantee we'll come back up there. But for me, looking at this chart, the two areas of interest for me would be coming back up and mitigating that zone, or once we get back down into this daily imbalance down here. Other than that, I mean, overall, macro looks still pretty bullish. Like this looks good in my opinion, but I think we could kind of bounce back down and fill this before moving to the upside. Because after we did that, we'd have a lot of these relatively equal highs up here. I mean, they're not equal, but there's going to be a lot of liquidity building up, above all of that if we do get a pushback down into this zone. Let's look at Filecoin. It's up nice. It was up over 100% since our buys. Yeah, I sold this early as a fucking motherfucker, bro. I mean, it looks great. I mean, you can go back. I literally talked about. I'll find the video if I have time, but I said Filecoin was going to go to like $7 really fast, and it went. What is it? High 11. Holy fuck. Yeah, I mean, this kind of confirms that accumulation. Looking at, I mean, if crypto really were to like fall back, I guess you could say, I'm gonna hide this. It's not my way. You could look at it like we fill this imbalance right there. You might get some form of bounce down to that area. Doubt it, but we'll see. That would be an ideal buy. And, I think just a key. We went over this in the private class on Sunday, but I think the key really is with a daily chart is just identifying your levels. Like say we have this huge imbalance, we can identify that, and then once price comes back into that area, then we look for maybe like a 4-hour change of character or whatever your entry model requires in order for you to get active in the trade. But really, Phil, I mean, it's just at this point, it just needs some retracement. And it doesn't, there's no law that says it's going to do it. We know how crypto is, it can just continuously fly. But that's really where I would look. The weekly drawn liquidity would still be up here, but I would usually you see kind of, I don't know, actually, you could, yeah, I would say the overall weekly drawn liquidity is up here because, even if we do retrace, price is showing a desire to go higher. So, after we retrace down to like this $6.20 region, I would look for another run, a massive run up to at least this high, probably into this imbalance. Another, I think we talked about this a little bit. This is another coin I'm really interested in is Cardano. If we can get down under this low right here, this short-term low, come into this imbalance, maybe into this demand zone. I think I refined it from like to a 1 hour. Yeah, that would be Pico because you're gonna fill the drawn liquidity. I mean, it's perfect. If we can come down here and really, I would just be looking for like the 15-minute to go bullish there because I'm trading pro 4-hour trend at that point. Actually, no. I would probably be patient with it. It really depends where Bitcoin's at, to be honest. If Bitcoin is maintaining above this level here, I would be a little more aggressive with it. But let's say we break down and start to come under this last week's low, even if we're mitigating these zones, that's going to make me pretty cautious, seeing as we'd be down close to these equal lows. There's what we wanted to happen on SPY. It's 11. Usually I don't really like to take trades after. If I'm going to trade, I want it to be before 11 or after 1:30. But we did take out this high. I'll probably just, I'm not really seeing anything that's uh, giving me even any FOMO or anything like that today. So I'm just chilling, man. No need to rush. I'm gonna sit down later tonight too. I've got some more stuff I gotta take care of today, but I'm gonna go down through my futures watch list on crypto. We can go to the daily right here and just kind of peep stuff, just get a little idea because this is really when crypto starts moving like this. I just start looking at daily charts. AXS is not looking bad. Really would have rather had this get filled, but it seems like, I haven't used some of these concepts on these alts, but I mean, this is weird because, the weekly was very clearly pushing down for quite some time, drawing towards something. Maybe it was this low, um, and somewhere in this imbalance, but price didn't, it just kind of bounced off of a random area as far as the weekly chart goes. There's a daily demand zone, little flip zone in there, so that makes sense. Um, got a daily change of character right there. New demand was introduced. I would say down here at the bottom, we can refine that to a 4-hour. Say it really started right there. So we didn't even hit into that. Oh yeah, we did. Okay, over here. And once that, and really this is a key thing that, I say 4-hour looks bullish to me. What made you determine being short biased on crypto? I mean, it's not like I'm not bullish overall, but just coming into the week, I see more. The 4-hour internal structure is bearish, first of all. So even if you are bullish, like which you are, right? So your swing structure is this and this, right? So after we get a break of structure, we expect a pullback, right? You know, Also, if you look, what did we fill? The imbalance that I was talking to you guys about forever. I said we were going to fill this. There's actually a tweet I said as soon as we fill that, go ahead and start, looking for a potential reversal. So we filled that. We took out the old high. So after you get that break of structure and you get a change of character in a POI, you look for a retracement. Where are we going to look for a retracement? Into a discount. Yes, we have in discount. Draw on liquidity. Daily order block. So that's in short why I would be more looking to short Bitcoin for right now. But they would be into longs. So don't. It's not like everything. I just am super bearish out of nowhere or something like that. But also, this might be a nice setup. Let's see about this. I really like getting a 5-minute change of character with Bitcoin. I don't like using anything lower. And that would be quite far away at this point. It'd be all the way down here. Really, no, it'd be even farther. Yeah. I'll wait for this zone unless the 5-minute gives more structure there. There's no need to rush. Where was I at on this list? I think it was on access. So after we came back down into that original first demand zone, what I was saying before too, whenever you're selecting your demand zones or your supply zones, it's really important to just like ask yourself like, what did they cause? Because there's tons of supply and demand zones, but if you just pick every single one, even if you're picking only demand and discount and supply and premium, if you pick every single one, you're going to reduce your win rate, which you can still be profitable. And you are a low time frame trader and your risk reward makes up for it. But at the end of the day, I think it saves you time, and also will give you a better understanding of what's actually happening. If you ask yourself, like, what did the supply zone or the demand zone that you're looking at, what did it cause? Like, how important was that? Did it cause, a sweep of liquidity? Did it cause a daily change of character? Right? Did you refine that zone? Um, any extreme too, right? Like anything like at the bottom of a move, because we know it swept liquidity and there was enough demand pumped in the market that pushed price extremely high. So, and also another thing you look at is liquidity. You had equal lows under there. All that got swept. You came into this institutional candle, filled that really small fair value gap, and then you push the upside. So at that point, you would look for the, let's see right here, most recent change of character right there. Price moved pretty quick. We had that newly introduced demand there, and you can continuously go in and layer this. Oh shit, I just zoomed in. But you can continuously, let me change the colors of these so I'm not confusing anybody. Oh yeah, that's what I was looking for. I wasn't trying to refine. So once you came back down to that 4-hour zone, you just look for the 15-minute change of character. You got right there. Newly introduced demand. And you can continuously layer this for however much risk reward you want. This is actually really clean. At this point, I'm going to look for the most recent. So you got this that swept that liquidity out down there. Just want to make that visible. I like that level right now for AXS. Down at that $15 region, that would be where I'd look to be a buyer. Because this chart looks good on the daily. The weekly is kind of weird. Weekly looks like we could maybe go lower, but it's still showing a desire. It's showing that it's drawing to something above. So at that point, I would just look at the daily. I mean, there's not really many imbalances or anything except this clean high all the way up here, which these highs are fairly equal to. I would just say equal highs up here. I wouldn't necessarily just, ride along all the way up to that, but really what I'd be looking for is price to come back down into this region, get a change of character, and then look for that newly introduced demand. Excuse me. Theta, I think I was trying this for somebody on stream. I wouldn't even give a shit about this coin. This coin's so dead. So dead. Bell. Yeah, I'm also good on that too. Holy shit, Ethereum Classic did that thing. I remember people were talking about it. We know Gala. We're interested in Gala. So much old TA. I'm not really too interested in KNC. Maybe for shorts at some point. It just seems like it's just engineering a sell side. But I'm not really in the mood to short crypto recently. I think it's time to short intraday, not any kind of like daily swings, I should say, because that would be if we came down and cleared out $1, that would be massive. Yeah, I wouldn't really pay that too much mind. Dent. This fucking coin, I'm good on that too. This was one of the coins I wanted to look at though. I think we looked at on stream on Thursday maybe, or I can't remember if we even streamed there. Whatever day it was. Seems like this is this breaker right here. Got respected nicely so far. Actually, gonna just refresh some of this because we already took it. And I always like looking back at TA and it playing out because I think we were in this region right here. We were saying it was going to at least fill this imbalance, and it definitely did that and more. Took out the equal highs. So at this point, really next target would be right there. That would be the imbalance I'd be looking to get filled. Love these highs. Right here, we had to change a character. Oops, wrong. Cool. Character right there. So the way I always do stuff is when I'm mapping out these, internal breaks of structure, I'll map out the entire candle, but if I can see a clear area to refine to, um, that's more what I'm interested in. This one's kind of interesting because really, you could argue and say that this was the flip supply that pushed us down into the. So we came down, we tapped into that demand, right, moseyed around, and then blasted through it. So it's arguable, but the problem for me, it makes me not like that zone as well. Actually, let's see. I can't tell if it's in a. Actually, it is in a premium, kind of. Well, oh no, it wasn't at the time. That's what it was. I was like, how? Okay, there we go. Because this was the impulse move we're looking at. And it wasn't really in a premium of that. Looks like there's a clean high up here. So what I like to do at this point is just refine. Again, I mean, this wick may be of some interest, but it's just really sloppy. So nothing stands out to me super hard. So what I would do is, and you can always just mark these kind of wicks, but I'm just going to watch price action in this zone. Or actually, let's see, because we got that 4-hour, so 15-minute. I mean, the 15-minute never had time to have a change of character. It was just bearish the entire time. Actually, I guess technically, if you want to be if you're going to do the internal structure like we do it, there was a high right there because it came down, failed to take the low, pull back, continued, and that would have given us a change of character down here. And then that would, it's too sloppy for me to really want to mess with. It's as with a lot of crypto as far as lower time frames go. I would say possibly something in there, but it's all kind of been tapped into. Yeah, I would probably just wait for this to come down into this area. I mean, it looks like a good short, but it's just way too wicky and sloppy for me to want to touch. Gold, look at gold. And XMR, I'll do XMR after gold. So really what I'm looking for on gold, okay, we took out the previous week's high. That's good. The weekly imbalance, the overall draw on liquidity is at 1784. But ideally, what I would like to see, and really we don't have enough data to look for this yet, but is that for us to push back down to this imbalance right here. Because we had this massive impulse move with the FOMC hype, and then we have this imbalance sitting right under the equilibrium. So I would ideally like to see a flush down to that. My overall target, we posted on Twitter, was this imbalance right here. We definitely came up and filled that. So now I'm looking for us to hopefully bounce back down into this imbalance, give some long entries, but after that it would be 1784 would be my target. There's that weekly imbalance and we could just push all the way up to this. We're very close to it, so the weekly could be just moving up there. Really, whichever one hits first, I'm going to look to target the other one between this daily imbalance here at 1740 and the weekly imbalance at 1784. So at this point, it's just kind of a waiting game. With gold, I don't really. I think gold is good, but I only like playing it from certain areas. But I'm not going to sit and watch it all the time. I don't really like trading it, but I will trade it from like the daily levels. XMR. I like it, but the only thing about it for me is it's already kind of taken off, you know? Like it's been running, and also you have a shitload of trendline liquidity getting engineered right here. So there's that false perspective of support. Um, on the daily. Hold on. So you've got a ton of liquidity under that, under this trend line right here. It's never been tapped. You could see a short-term little rally though. I mean, I like this imbalance. That's and you've got these equal highs right here. You just filled this imbalance and kind of traded in that order block. And an imbalance right there. Really, it'd be nice if you kind of sweep this for a short-term low. I'm actually going to set an alarm. I'm going to move this to the imbalance, and I'm going to set an alarm. So, yeah, if we could get a movement down into this area, I would look for the 4-hour to switch bullish, and then I would look to long targeting this right here. But then I think you'd have some nasty shorts. And XMR is kind of in its own world a lot of the time. I mean, really, the only clear buy side liquidity I see is all the way up here too. You know, past all these imbalances. And these are relatively equal highs as well. It looks decent though, because really it's coming back into this impulse move, or in the premium of this impulse move now. But I mean, this daily imbalance, I like this target right here. It's 171.13. That would be where I would see a likely reversal. I set an alarm for that too, just in case that gets hit first. There's equal highs at the previous week's high. Yeah, I mean, really what I would look for is if you get a 4-hour break of structure, like right here, yeah, because that would be your internal high. If you can get above that and then start to respect demand, I would go ahead and look to long up to these equal highs or the imbalance, whichever one. Um, your risk tolerance agrees with, I'd probably go with the equal highs, but just I'm gonna set an alarm to see if this gets cleared. What I would like to see though is these early longs get stopped out. We come into this higher value area where we're in that daily order block and the daily imbalance, and then you get that 4 hour change of character. And again, we just go through the process. It's 4 hour, then you can refine to a 1 hour POI. Once price gets into that, look on the 15 minute. And then once, then it really just depends how far you refine stuff. Somebody said, "How's my cat?" You can hear it. It's funny. Yeah, she's always singing. Oh, you mean the one that was sick forever ago? Oh, he's straight now. Maybe if that's what you're asking, Adaliki. Yeah, no, I appreciate you too, ZP. Yeah, my move was it went okay. It could be worse. I'm just happy for it to be over. I still got to move all my stuff around, and I have some other stuff I have to get from another spot. But I am happy to be in a different spot though, for sure. I'm gonna take a look at indices before I hop off here. Could see a PM trade. Not sure if I'll be around for it though. I've got stuff I gotta do. Yeah, I'm not really. I mean, just not a fan of this price action so far. Anything NOS looks cleaner. Even then, you've really only got any kind of break of structure in the 1 minute. Would like it to be the break of structure to be on more than one time frame, but I mean, we definitely rated liquidity here. So what I'll wait for is just the New York lunch to end. I don't really like entering trades right before it because what you usually see, not always, sometimes you get a nice setup, but what I usually see is price kind of just engineers liquidity, and then you see one side get rated. Because this looks like, I mean, it looks like the day is going to be overall. The morning was obviously bullish. We saw a raid down at these lows, price pushing up. We took out the intraday liquidity, but really we're looking at more of a daily level. And while we are above these old highs, we haven't shown any kind of desire to go lower, in my opinion, past like a 1 minute chart, which don't get sucked up into that. So I would say we're probably going back up into this 13,550 or 13,125 where this order block is. So I don't think there's any rush. I kind of like letting indices show their hand the first day of the week, if especially once we're extended like this, because you could look at it and say, okay, well, we've rebalanced everything. And this is the way I'm looking at it with ES and SPY. We've rebalanced a ton of stuff. We're in this daily old distribution zone. The weekly imbalance was filled. Um, we've got daily imbalances below in this impulse move, so I could see a slight retracement. But again, we got to wait for signals of that. Above this old weekly high, it seems like it's still showing strength. It's not really giving any displacement to the downside, just filling imbalances, kind of moseying on into them, and then looking to seek the buy side again. So yeah, I'm just gonna chill out for now. I might revisit this at like 1:30. I'll signal something in the private Discord if I do get any longs. But yeah, that's really it. Mainly waiting on Bitcoin, and then indices haven't really shown me too much of what I want to see yet. So Bitcoin, Gala, really for longs once it gets into that zone. Cardano as well. Mainly all the intraday stuff for me is going to be Bitcoin though. I'd like this 1 hour zone. If you want to mark it on your chart, it's just this 1 hour candle before this move to the downside. Again, we called this shit perfectly on stream yesterday. That after we got above these highs, once we saw a lower time frame displacement with a break of structure, it was easy. And the thing is with these, you got to be confident in them because, like I know when we were in the private class, we said these highs were going to get cleared. They got cleared and it was like pumping, like rallying, and most people be like, "Oh yeah, it's not going to turn around." But when you pay attention to the lower time frames, after you get that break of structure, you've got the fair value gap, price trades into it. This one, I think, no, it didn't. People who use this candle are big sad. But as price trades into that fair value gap, you just take a trade. Risk reward is fairly good there. So, anyways, guys, I appreciate it. I'll be back on tomorrow. Sorry, there wasn't really too much today that caught my interest, but um, those are the main setups I'm looking at going to the week. Is ES, Bitcoin, Gala, Cardano, and yeah, just at me or message me or whatever if you got any questions. Until tomorrow, I'll see you later.